Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
And I'm Jay Reef.
Was that your best Cockney, your fake Cockney?
No, I mean, I was just listening to the New York Philharmonic concert version with
yes.
Em Thompson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
It's a lot more operatic than the film.
A lot more operatic and a lot more, I think the term is sung. No, the
Yes.
this is a series of bonus episodes, 4 in total, for our Sondheim series. I asked our favorite special guests. Obviously, me and Will are going through every show over the course of 21 episodes. But I asked all of our favorite guests if they had a specific Sondheim show that they would like to talk about. I outreached to Jay, and his answer was Mr. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Jay, why?
Because they look cool. And because I'd seen clips. I hadn't actually seen the film.
Right.
Yeah, this was the first watch. And I didn't want to do Company, even though I've seen it.
Of course, I let the record show that me and Jay lived together for a period, and I once was having a lovely afternoon Sunday nap where I was awakened to the sounds of Jay rehearsing Giants in the Sky. It was absolutely wonderful. My window was open, and suddenly I heard Jay's got a lovely singing voice, and he's an excellent actor. And I heard Giants in the Sky, and I thought, oh, this is wonderful. Not a song I'm actually a huge fan of, but it was nice. It was nice to wake up to.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either anymore.
So tell me, this is wonderful news that this is all firsts. So how did you go about your Sweeney Todd virginity taking this week? What did you do?
It was great. I watched it with my girlfriend, Olivia.
Famous Willem Dafoe lover. What else? I'm trying to think of the other things that we've gleaned from her from the podcast. Obviously, I know her as a person, but the little facts we know from the podcast are she loves Willem Dafoe.
She loves Helena Bonham Carter.
Ah, right. So
has a massive crush on her as well. So
so all covers bases, Helena and Willem.
Refers to Jamie Campbell as that creepy guy from Stranger Things.
Yes, this is true. He is now Vecna.
Yes.
Long gone are his days of being a little pale boy.
Yeah. What a weird character he is in this film.
Yeah, Anthony is a bizarre concoction of... Well, originally, he's Victor Garber. Original Broadway production, he's Victor Garber, and he's this strapping young sailor boy, and he's full of naivete, and I talk like this. And obviously, in the hands of Burton, as with everybody, he's pale little... Maybe I'll see you again, Mr. Todd. Maybe. Who knows? Probably not. No. And okay, so then first reactions to Sweeney Todd. Wow, go.
I adored it. I don't know if it's a bad take.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So you watched the film, and then you just said before we started that you were, or maybe no, we had started either way, and you were now watching other productions now.
Yeah, I'm like 55 minutes into the New York concert version at the moment. Yeah.
The one, and this is the one that me and Will love to make fun of the cheeky, naughty opening where they're all so proud of themselves and they're like, "Ooh, should we knock things over?"
Yeah. Let's throw our scripts on the floor.
No, I'm going to rip my skirt off and everybody, and then Brian Default with his big box of tricks. Here, take a mic. Here, take some graffiti. Here, take a spray can.
And very weird.
So you're basically doing what I did, Jay. 15, 3, 3, 5, 15 years ago, because I watched the Sweeney Todd film and I thought, wow, what's all this? And then I blossomed and blossomed too, except not really, because you've seen Company and you've done Giants in the Sky and all that sort of stuff. So what did you know of Todd before going into this?
I had a rough idea of the story because when I was in college, we thought that it was going to be the last show we were going to do.
Oh, what did the last show end up?
How to Succeed in Business with Our Train.
Okay, great show, great show, great show.
Yeah.
If you weren't cast as the lead guy, then there is no faith in the world.
No, I actually wasn't.
Who were you cast as?
Bud.
Which one's Bud?
The villain.
Oh, okay, good casting. I'll also give you that.
I had tons of fun doing that.
How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying? Excellent show. I mean, I know that there was a sort of boom with the Daniel Radcliffe and Darren Criss revival on Broadway, but I don't know the statistics on when we last. I guess it's not statistics, dates on when we last had one in the UK. I think we're about due. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. It's been a few years.
And of course, our wonderful Bert Cooper, Robert Morse, originated the role. We love Bert.
So good in it.
Yeah. Oh, poor Bert. I should say poor Robert. Bert didn't die. Well, no, Bert did die as well, as we know.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd. So what music did you know beforehand?
I don't actually know the names of the songs. Let me just the Alan Rickman Pretty Women. Yeah, Pretty Women. Yeah. I love that song. It's probably my favorite one.
It's an incredible duet. Will is probably more of a fan of that than me. Will boosted that up to entering our top 20.
Did you do a list of songs?
We have we rank all of the songs, and then we enter the songs into the Sondheim song canon. We have 8 songs, I believe. So far, I believe Todd is the one with the most entrants. Yeah, by far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, we have 11. So far in the Sondheim song canon, which is a ranking. Here it is. A ranking based upon the best songs. Each from the shows in which Sondheim has written either musical lyrics, as well as a selection of songs from his work beyond the musical. In the selection process of which recording, a variety of albums and performers were taken into account, overruled at times. So I basically we take through we try to get 6 or 7, but it's getting harder when it comes to our favorite shows. And we took through a whole bunch from Todd. It's probably our favorites of the show. I think it's probably the towering achievement of musical theatre of our time. I don't think there's a bad song. As much as I love Phantom, this is just a towering achievement of character, music, story, and presentation.
A kill at the pub.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it wasn't a pub. It wasn't a pub.
Yes.
So let's go with the film. So me and Will have just talked about the film. That's what's just happened on the pod. So let's talk about the film some more. And it's interesting now, I think, because me and Will, I don't want to say we were more down on the film than originally we thought we'd be, but I think it was hard going back to the film after spending multiple weeks on the musical as is and as written. It was hard to sort of implant my mind of going back to 2007 and never knowing anything. And then when I went to see it in 2012, the full London production with Michael Ball and Imelda Staunton, we literally sat there and just kept hearing all of this music that we'd never heard before, and Kiss Me and like the ballad, the opening ballad with the overture with the ensemble. I was thinking, wow, and then it's a whole new world of music to be introduced to. But as a film, it's a sensational thriller. I think my big takeaway from this last watch that we did was that I think the final 40 minutes is absolutely unassailable. I think the first hour and 10 is at times a little slow and a little oddly paced. However, I think the final 40 minutes is absolutely sensational.
You know, I think I completely agree, because it was towards the end that I was like really into it, but at the start I was kind of like, okay.
His two favorite genres, Sondheim has always said this, is farce and melodrama. And by the end of it, and Sondheim, Sweeney Todd kind of works as a farce. There is multiple identities, you know, mixed people thinking people are different people. There is, I mean, we have Joanna dressing up as a man, if you want to look at it that way as well. We have, you know, multiple doors. I mean, we also have a hatch in this. And by the time of the final half an hour, it does get to a farcical level of the judge coming in at the right time, then him coming in at the right time, then Joanna getting through the path, Joanna running away, Lucy going through the hatch, and it building and building and building and building. But we have that melodramatic element, the old Penny Dreadful element of it, which is, of course, that it's ultimately one of the great tragedies. Did you see the beggar woman reveal coming? Me and Will sort of not at no, didn't you see it? No, rough stuff. So when did it click for you? Did you have a glimpse on, hey, don't I know you, mister? Or was it literally not until
no, it was not until like 2 minutes after they revealed that it was Lucy, and I was like, who is this blonde person? I was like, did they kill Joanna? Yeah. And then pausing and going back with Olivia, and then she was like, no, that's the mom. And then I was like, oh my God. And then she was like, oh, so does that mean that Anthony's into his sister?
No.
And I was like, no. And then she was like, but then why did he call her mother? I was like, I don't know, they just did.
This is like when somebody watched Boogie Nights. I recommended Boogie Nights to somebody, and they thought that Roller Girl was Burt Reynolds' dad. Sorry, it was Burt Reynolds was Roller Girl's dad. And they were like, I didn't like that scene at the start where the dad watched his daughter have sex. I was like, sorry. No, what film do you think I'm recommending you here?
Yeah, you're actually watching House of the Dragon.
Yes, yeah, it wasn't Boogie Nights, it was House of the Dragon. Would House of the Dragon be better with a disco soundtrack?
I think any scene with Matt Smith would be very funny.
Would be better. They should put the song that he danced to in Morbius.
No, yeah, that's what I had in mind.
So okay, yeah. So Sweeney Todd. So coming now after the fact, what songs, what particular moments stuck with you? What stuck out to
you? I really liked when they first got to Pirelli's place. I thought the kid was really good.
The kid's great in this. Yeah, I think he's a really good Toby.
Yeah, and especially I think he's normally like older in the.
Well, in the original production, he's a mentally challenged older boy who now has the older man. Well, not older man. He's about, I don't know, he's about early 20s, but he's mentally challenged. And so he has, quote unquote, childlike sensibilities. And some productions do that. A lot of the darker productions bring that back. However, some productions do him as a child. This obviously does it as a child. But even when they cast him as a child, it's still, I don't know, like Neil Patrick Harris does it in the 2005 concert when he's like in his late 20s, early 30s. So it's like, it's still always a grown man playing a child. So I sway to them keeping the original elements. But of course, in a film, when you can cast a real child, or in a Broadway production, when you can cast a real child.
Yeah, he was great.
He was very good.
What was? Oh, I don't know if I loved it. If I loved this song,
yeah.
but like the Greenfinch and Linnetbird one.
Yes, Greenfinch and Linnetbird. Greenfinch and Linnetbird
is so different from everything.
Yeah. It's probably the Marmite song in the score. When it comes to Todd people, it's either the one they love or the one they hate. I think a lot of people find it a little bit on the nose.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's for a score that is so frequently subtle and dry and witty and dark, to have the woman who is trapped sing a song about birds being caged is not exactly it's not the most.
I feel like there's a message in this.
Yeah, I think there's something about I can't put my finger on it. You know,
there was also, I mean, I've seen when I was like looking at it in college, I did see like a lot of versions of Epiphany, and I think the stage versions I remember being a lot more dramatic than the film version.
The stage version, I mean, by making it a montage, I think, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, going into his head, and the going around the streets, it really does bring you into the mind of Sweeney. However, inherently that isn't as dramatic and as a single man screaming on a stage. Not screaming, well, at times screaming. It sort of, in a sense, although a montage opens the world, it kind of loses the momentum and loses the brutality, especially when you then undercut it with the sort of gag edit at the end of him sat there and Mrs. Lovett going, "Now what are we going to do?" You know, that kind of undermines it a little bit, and so I go back and forth on the film a lot, and it does, like, my ex really loved the film, and then when we were in the car or anything, that was the version she wanted to listen to. And that's never been the one I've listened to. I enjoy watching the film, but I never choose to listen to that score. Whereas with you now burgeoning into other productions, are you enjoying like you saw the first 50 minutes or so of the New York Philharmonic production? Is there a part of you that is preferring the more bombastic score, the ensemble elements? Somebody's calling you to ask you about Sweeney Todd. Before we were rudely interrupted by our wonderful Scottish friend, we were discussing what's Our Man in Havana's the novel, our woman from Glasgow. We were talking about whether you're enjoying hearing this more ensemble based score and the more bombastic elements of it, and if you're preferring that, or if you're enjoying if you enjoyed more that sort of stripped back film score.
I'd say that I really like the chorus stuff, the ensemble stuff.
Yeah.
And it does make it feel more like a legend and stuff, more like, you know, a story that would get passed on, whereas in the film it never really, I think, has that element. Like, you do see a lot of people in London like going to the pie shop towards the end, and then, you know, there's the beggar woman still, Lucy. But I do like the ensemble telling the story. And I also think, I don't know, I think the thing so far that I do prefer about the film is obviously like the more intimate kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff you obviously can't do on a stage.
Not while I'm around, in particular. Is very touching in the film, and really does allow you to get close. And Helena's vocal quality is a lot more subdued, a lot more quiet, a lot more tender, which without really a belt or anything big like that. And so it is perfect for
also Judge Turpin.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, the wonderful Alan Rickman. And it really allows the scene bringing Anthony in. I think it's a film that also knows where its strengths are. With its actors. I don't know what came first, casting Alan Rickman or whatever, but the insertion of the Judge Turpin dialogue scene of, the geishas and the concubines of Europe, and him taking Anthony through, you gandered at her, you gandered at my what does he keep calling it? Ward. You gandered at my ward.
And then Olivia's quote during that section, did he just show Anthony all his porn?
Yeah, that's a great quote. I think he did. Also, is he like genuinely, yeah, come on, Anthony, have a look. I want to have it. It's great. Borrow it,
Also, I think I prefer, what's his name? Beetle.
Oh, yes, Timothy Spall, yes.
Yeah, he was really good. Because he just does that thing about him, doesn't he? Like, in Harry Potter as well.
I've seen, like, you can either, Timothy Spall I've seen in movies play the nicest man in the world, and then play, probably, prime example, Beadle Bamford, the sleaziest, scummiest, most evil people. This is not unlike, what is it, Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah, he just smells.
Yeah.
Well, these characters.
Well, this is the thing. I think that also, again, the film plays to its strengths. It can really, the settings are great, and it's grimy. If anything, with the ensemble being cut, all you're losing is a more realistic, grimy, crowded London. That sort of everybody on top of each other, London, that is so frequently reported. Everybody's on top of each other. The overpopulation is rife. It's Scrooge's biggest annoyance in A Christmas Carol.
Also, it's so dark.
Yeah,
the film is so dark.
It is very dark.
As in like brightness, not.
No, you can call it in characters. But then, of course, we have the great lifting of that with By the Sea, which is probably for me, just a delightful number.
This is
it's a beautiful, beautiful song.
She's even before we watch the film, she sings it all the time to me. It's very cute.
Oh, it's a wonderful. Oh, that sounds truly, truly wonderful, Jay. I do love By the Sea. I love when it's sung humorously. I love when it's sung tenderly. Helena sings it more tenderly and loving. It sort of cuts out all of the big jokes. There are a few huge jokes that are just cut. And
really?
Yeah. And so it's in that sense, it's a little bit of a bizarre portrayal, but also you just have just a beautiful, touching tenderness to it. That there's nothing like it really. It's so lovely and touching and sweet. And in many senses, that builds up. What do you think of the romance of Todd and Lovett? Do you like the way you saw it? Did you see a romance there? Did you see a sexual attraction there? Did you see a kinship there? Did you see a friendship? Because obviously Lovett's fully in love with him.
Yeah. I mean, that was something that I think was very vague and kind of changed. Like, I found it pretty sweet when it's funny because they're coming up with an idea for murdering people. But I found it sweet when he was into her idea. I was like, oh, he kind of likes her.
Yeah. You want to help? I think. Yeah.
But then there is also like throughout the rest of the film when you're just kind of like, yes, I agree.
Yeah. There is a complete lack of emotion at times to his performance, where you do get to the sense of, wait a minute, why does she love him? Why? Other than him being Johnny Depp and being charismatic at times and brooding, why does she love him? Is it just because she's? I mean, lonely people find lonely people. Not in my case, but you find, there is something about that. She's a widow. My Albert. But there is something to it with them. Yeah, with them finding one another. That he is so clearly not interested. Is he interested, or is he just there for the means to the end of building up because he could kill Turpin at any point, really.
Yeah.
But there is a point where he gets engrossed with the success of the pie shop and the success of the Barbary. To win.
And he seems a lot less interested in Joanna
as it goes on. Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, he literally says it in Joanna Reprise. I seem to miss you less and less as time goes by, Joanna. And whether that is just because he is growing obsessed with murder, whether he is enjoying the success he's found, whether he is happy with this little makeshift family that they've ended up with little Anthony and with little Toby and Mrs. Lovett, whatever that may be, something is working for Todd in this period of his life that keeps him there. And I guess a bigger question is, okay, Anthony never comes to him with the plan to steal Joanna, which is the thing that spurs him to finally ensnare Turpin. Yeah. How long do you think the success of the pie shop goes on if Anthony never comes with this plan to steal Joanna? Do you think because at a certain point, Todd must succumb to this revenge?
Yeah, definitely.
They can't just stay making this pie shop forever.
No, definitely not. And plus, they'd eventually get caught. Like,
you'd hope. I mean, it's Victorian London. Everybody's just kind of. Well, how do they get away with it for so long? Let's be boring. How do they get away with? I mean, how many people we see them kill? 10 people. Times that by. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, she made a lot of pies.
She did make a lot of pies. I don't know how you'd think. Yeah, how would you? What? I haven't watched the Dead Meat video on this, but I don't. James H. Niece. I don't know how he. I am James H. Niece.
Also, like, how's Toby the only one to notice a finger in the pie?
Yeah, bad job. Yeah, bad job, Mrs. Lovett. You can't leave a finger inside the pie. This is a bad. Sure, it's a great visual. Is there a part of, I mean, I quite literally opened this video call by recommending to you one of the sicker movies I've seen this year. But is there a part of you that would have enjoyed the film being able to take advantage of showing the making of the pies a bit more? Something, like showing, Mrs. Lovett down there getting better over the Joanna Reprise montage of, getting better at cutting people up and all that sort of stuff?
Probably not, to be honest.
No. It is it is one of those things that's best left to think about is, how did they do all this?
Plus you see the meat grinder as well.
You see the meat grinder. Yeah, no, you do. You see you see enough to let the mind get thinking about the gruesome nature. Let's talk about meat pies. I've never been a hot pie or a cold pie fan. I love meat and I love sausage rolls and I love pastry and meat as a combination, but a hot pie or a mince pie has never appealed to me.
No, I'm not a fan of pies. I'm not the one to talk to. I mean, like, obviously I like sweet pies, like apple pies, cherry pies.
Yeah. You're in America, Jay. Are you finally living out all of your diner fantasies, all of your black coffee and cherry pie fantasies of Twin Peaks and David Lynch of lore?
I wish, but everything's like horrifically expensive here.
Oh, we had a really cheap diner in Philadelphia. It was great.
Oh, that's so lucky.
No, no.
And plus, everything's really spread far apart.
Yeah. But it's sunny.
Yeah, it is. It's 25 degrees here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And let the record show, folks, it's the start of November.
Yes.
Wow, Jesus Christ. We're going to take a short break and then we'll be back to discuss some more about Senor Sweeney Todd. Johnny Depp. Mm-hmm. What do you think politically? No, I'm kidding. No, what Johnny Depp was nominated for Best Actor at the Academy Awards for this performance. Jay, what do you think of Mr. Depp's performance in the titular role of Sweeney Todd? And I guess where does this rank in your overall Burton Depp? What's your Burton relationship? What's your Depp relationship? I should have done all of this as a preamble. Let's start for now with his performance here in Sweeney Todd, and then we'll go broad strokes. We'll go reverse. Is this maybe calling it an Oscar-nominated performance is putting too much on it? But what did you think of his performance in general?
I liked his voice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it was very like underplayed. That wasn't much.
Yeah.
Like
no, the moments of emotion of anger, of all that sort of stuff are in the songs. And that's because musically they have to be there. Whereas I think whenever they can be avoided, Burton and Depp choose to go a different route and to make this more of an emotionless figure. I think I mean I'm going to quote Burton. He has a quote about how he found the character to be dead, and then that he's dead, that he's quite literally dead. And in a way, creatively, is that actually an interesting portrayal of the character of Sweeney Todd, or should he be this forlorn, this tragic figure? To see him completely emotionally dead, is that actually as interesting?
I think I mean, in my opinion, I think yeah.
Yeah,
like hearing that quote, I do kind of agree. Like, this man died when he was shipped off.
Yeah,
wherever he was shipped off to.
Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if it was actually Australia or if that was just Mr. Lovett.
No, yeah, Australia. That's. I mean, did you never know that Australia used to be a prison island?
No, I knew that.
Right.
I didn't know if that was like serious when they said that. Or
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because like obviously watching the New York version, he is a lot more like bombastic.
Well, yes.
Alive.
Brian Turfel, yes. Let's talk about Burton and Depp in general, because I think when you look at every single one of those performances, the best one to equate this to, in a way, is Edward Scissorhands. Just like sort of what could be seen as emotionless, dull-like. I mean, people say constantly about how Tim Burton makes Depp into a pale, bland, dull boy. But in actuality, that's not what the character of Ed Wood is. That's not what the character of Ichabod Crane is. Lord knows that's not what his Willy Wonka is. So the idea of him being this bland, dull-faced nothing is only really present in Edward Scissorhands because he's a robot, and in this because I guess they see him as a dead zombie. Do you have a personal favourite Depp Burton collaboration?
I mean, I'm just going over them to check.
No, it's all right. Yeah,
I do like almost all of them. Like, I think. I mean, I really liked him as Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I need to watch Edward Scissorhands properly because when I watched it as a kid, like I was a kid and just found the film boring.
Yeah.
But I'd probably like it now.
I watched it again as an adult, and the ginger lady accuses him of rape. Yeah, I didn't remember that. But Edward Scissorhands is great. Anthony Michael Hall, poor Anthony Michael Hall, getting stabbed and thrown out a window. And the wonderful Winona Ryder.
Also, I had like a vague idea that he was the Corpse Bride main character.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then also, obviously, Alice in Wonderland. He's the master.
Yes. The amount of times I completely forget about Alice in Wonderland is troubling.
I remember watching it in cinema.
Yeah, did I watch? I think I watched it in the cinema in 3D.
Yeah,
it was one of the big 3D movies. Yeah, after Avatar, and now we're getting a new Avatar, Jay.
Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer yet.
I have. It looks weird. Looks kind of video gamey.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be shocked. I asked you in the break to make a top 5 songs. Let's start at number. Oh well, no, actually, let's do this. I did this with Rian. If there was a song to cut, a song that you were not a fan of at all, really, or your least favorite number, or something like that, is there a song that you would cut, Jay?
The song they sing. I think the song's actually called The Contest.
Oh, you don't like The Contest?
No.
That was the first thing you quoted.
I like the scene.
Oh, right. Okay. So you don't. Okay. So the actual. Yeah. So you enjoy the scene, but you don't like the music of Toby. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
No, I like that.
Oh, so you like that? So which bit didn't you like?
Like the actual.
Now, Signoroni, Signore, si corre the Barbara Kings. Me Adolfo Verde. I blow you a kiss. No.
Like it just felt like he wandered off a different film. I mean, obviously that's the point because you have the reveal later on that he's
you have the great reveal.
And I was going, why is Sacha Baron Cohen's Italian accent not that great?
Gucci-esque.
Yes, like he literally just did sound like Borat.
He did.
And then he's like, "Hello, my name's David."
Hello, Borat. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the original musical, he turns into an Irish Daniel O'Flanagan. And
I just got to this bit in the musical. I think
it's a bizarre choice. And I think this is so much for the better. He's actually scary. He's actually threatening. I think Sacha Baron Cohen as the Cockney is really good.
He's so good. I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen is one of my favorite actors. And
it's a great. Do you have a favorite Sacha Baron Cohen performance?
I mean, probably Borat.
We watched Borat 2 together, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We brought my TV in. Yes. Borat 2.
Wait, I'm just gonna look.
We've got Les Mis. Hello, Santa.
Yes.
And The Dictator.
There's Madagascar.
Yes, he was in
Fantastic too, yeah.
So you'd cut The Contest. All right, interesting hot take. What's your number 5 favorite song?
Not While I'm Around.
Beautiful song.
Very sweet song. And like you just know that it's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, you can't even let you be happy with that one touching song, because the minute Love It takes over and underneath you have the dissonant, you know, you can't even have that moment. It's got to be taken away. And as you say, beautifully sung by the Toby in this film. Very good performance in this. Number 4.
Epiphany.
Excellent. Epiphany is it Epiphany? I think Epiphany. Oh no, I know what our highest ranked is A Little Priest is number 1 rank on our Sondheim song canon of all time. Epiphany is currently at number 6. Next Todd after that is Pretty Women, down at 20. So yeah, Epiphany. Why Epiphany? I know why, but why?
It's just dark. And just his, I don't know, I just really like how raw it feels when Turpin leaves and then he's like,
yeah. Go. Yeah, you know, and again, just the pure anger. The pure anger in this moment. Pardon me. Just the unbridled anger and the emotion. And at this point, I mean, obviously we know that there's another hour left, but at this point, to what extent does he feel, I will never get that chance again?
I mean, I think in the moment he would feel that he would never have that chance again, because I think when you have like an experience like that, you do like go, oh, I missed it. Like, yeah, like
the mist takes over.
Yeah.
And yeah, Love It can do no good to help. And then straight into A Little Priest, which is always just one of those great, the biggest shift song to song ever, and there is barely a scene between it. Yeah, no, it's very good. What's your number 3?
Well, it is A Little Priest.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Me and Will were quite mean about the film version. I don't know. I don't think it. It's all very dry, and they're not. I don't think they're having as much fun as normal productions have with it. But what was your reaction? What was your relationship?
I think I could definitely see that. Like, obviously, it's one of the things where I think the Sondheimness kind of carries it in the film. Like, but I just think as a song, it's really nice, and it's just that going through all the different people.
Yeah, no, it's the promise of the show, really, is that it's the song of, all right, we'll give you this. This is the only thing. And I think, what do you know about Sweeney Todd? You know that he's a barber who kills people, and you know that there's a lady who puts them into pies. They're the things that everybody knows about Sweeney Todd. We don't get any of that until the opening of the second act. I mean, you could be nice and count A Little Priest, but that's an hour and a half in the original production. Yeah, and we don't get any of it, and it's all set up, and that is why the second act is, of course, so brilliant and more fun, I guess, quote unquote, and more enjoyable, and of course darker. Choice number 2, your second ranked,
By the Sea.
Delightful, beautiful, lovely song. In the film, of course, that's the other chance at lightness we get. We see lightness from before in the flashback of Turpin sending Todd to prison, but then we also get the lightness with By the Sea. That's the only other time that we see happiness or joy or anything.
Looks funny there in his striped suit, just looking pretty normal from the neck down, and then and
then just on top of him, that wonderful wedding kiss. Yeah, very. I think that's when the film is at its funniest and sweetest at the same time, and that's the joy of Todd, is that it's at its darkest when it's at its funniest. It's at its most tender when it's at its saddest, and all that, and all those sort of wonderful clashes. And I think you mentioned beforehand, but your number one is
Pretty Women.
Pretty Women, flower gazing, weather watching, how they make. Who knew Alan Rickman? Maybe Alan Rickman doesn't have an excellent singing voice, but he is used so well here, and he sings the Turpin role beautifully.
Did I tell you that my college teacher went for a coffee once with Alan Rickman?
I think maybe you did.
Yeah, fun story. But anyway,
did they have a latte? Did they have an Americano?
I don't know.
Brown sugar and chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah.
Mr. Potter, you have once again foiled my hot drink order. Lily would never allow a latte. I know, thank you. The concubines. Anyway, the Uganda. That's a solid top five, Jay. That's a very solid top five. So, anything left to say about Sweeney Todd itself before we touch on other realms of Sondheim for a little bit? Why not?
No, I just had a really good time.
Yeah, it's a delightful time. So, what else is there for you in the world of Sondheim? You mentioned company. What's your company feelings?
Company's really good. I don't know. It's a very weird show because it's just very vignette.
Vignette after vignette after vignette. Yeah.
And I don't know. Also, like, I do like that Sondheim repeats motifs a lot throughout shows. Although Company does have Bobby.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
that I think I might die of Bobbiness.
When they went to when Patti LuPone took her husband to see the original production of Into the Woods, he said, "If I hear da 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 da, da again, I'm going to leave."
Although I do love Being Alive.
Being Alive is tremendous, yes. And what else did you mention? I can't. Are there any other Sondheim shows in your sort of back catalogue of memory?
I mean, West Side Story.
Yes, of course. West Side Story is
wonderful. It's not very Sondheim because it's early, I think.
Yeah.
But I do love the show, and I love the original film. I haven't seen the new one.
Original film's excellent. The new film is also pretty good.
Pretty good. I haven't.
Do you remember when YMS did West Side Story, and he was like, I know that these are classic songs, but the music, I did not like the music. I thought it was repetitive." What a guy! What an incredible reviewer.
I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna watch that review.
That's a great review. It's somewhere in the 2022 Oscar reviews thing.
Right. Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, I do love YMS.
I love YMS too. No, YMS is wonderful. Thank you, Jay, for this little bonus episode. A little bit more Todd. You can never get enough Todd, and this was just another little bit of Todd on the surface. So, what's next on the horizon? Are you going to continue watching this New York Philharmonic? Are you going to continue listening to other recordings? I can see you kind of being a Todd converter after this. It's sort of, if there was a show that I would, of all the shows, I would recommend to you. If I know you know nothing, I would recommend Todd. I think it has your dark humor.
Yeah, definitely it does.
and the tragedy, yeah. So no, the joys. I will leave you to your wonderful Sondheim, your Sweeney Todd exploration to continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll be back in 7 weeks with Merrily We Roll Along. Yes, we're taking a small Sondheim break, and then we'll be back with the rest. Don't you worry, mere listeners, constant readers and constant listeners. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jay. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba